Welcome to another Fix It Friday. So on the last Fix It Friday, we changed the pulley out on the deck on my snapper. Worked so well it broke the belt. So guess what we're doing today? We're changing the belt. That's your part number. If you have this particular 33-inch deck, that's going to be your part number. They're still quite common, so you don't have to worry about it being obsolete like you do with a lot of these mower parts. So, first step, you want to get this as low as you can. So we'll pick up our handle here and we'll drop the deck down. That's so you can get this cover out. And then I still haven't found my bolt that I was missing, so we've only got 3 bolts to take out. We'll take those out. I like to set my bolts right there on that ledge. Okay. I'm gonna reach through here and grab this part. So this is how you get the deck cover off. You gotta pick it up. You gotta pivot, and then as you pivot, you're gonna rotate it around, and you're gonna just pull it off the handle. And as you can see, we have no belt. It broke. I'm guessing it fell off somewhere between the shed and the shop. You want to get a good look back there and make sure your pulleys are okay. So that's our new pulley, which works beautiful, by the way. That's our deck blade pulley. Right now it's held in place by the brake. So if I were to lock this handle right here, if I were to move this handle up and lock it, we could spin that pulley. Alright, so then back there, I don't know if you can see it too well, but back there is your drive pulley. So there's a gate that you got to get your pulley through. You might see it, that little piece of bar right there. So I'm going to put you here on the pod. I'm going to kind of give you an idea of how you're going to get it around that gate. First of all, take the belt out. Make sure it's stretched out all the way. Make sure it's all in one direction like this. Then you're going to take this part like this, and you're going to go inside the gate and loop it around the back of the pulley. So I'll do it real quick, and then I'll show you what it's supposed to look like. This is not as easy as it sounds, by the way. So let's see, we got to get it down. Because you got to get it down past the drive axle, because it goes down underneath. It wraps around the back side of the drive axle. I got to remember how I did this last time, because this thing is a real pain in the butt to put on here. See if I can remember how I did this. There is a way to do it. Alright. Oh, that's right. You got to put it in 5th. You got to run the transmission all the way to the down position. So you got to come over here to your transmission handle. And you got to rotate it all the way to 5th gear. And what that does is that opens that whole thing up. Then you can get in from the back side, underneath the back, pull your belt around, and then you can wrap it around the deck. So I'll show you what that looks like here in just a second. Let me get this belt installed real quick. Alright, so then you got to go inside that one. And you wrap it around here like this. You got to pull down on your transmission. Wait, I got the brake on. You can't have the brake on when you do this. You gotta have the brake off. Otherwise it won't let you get it all the way around the drive pulley. You gotta have the brake off. Then you can get it up around the back. Grab the belt from the front. This is not an easy job by any means. Alright, let me see what I got to do now to get it around the front. Because it'll come around 3/4 of the way and then it gets stuck on the clutch. So I can't remember if I'm supposed to push the clutch. If it goes in from the bottom, you can get it wrapped around the bottom at least 3/4 of the way. Let me see what happens if I push the clutch. Alright. Set the parking brake. That lowers the drive clutch down away from the wheel. And just get it around the outside of the pulley. And you can shove it up in here. Wish I could get that thing to come down some more. I think last time I had to pull it through on the other side. Let me see if I can do something here real quick. Try not to have to take this clutch off, because the correct way to do it is you take the clutch off and then you put the clutch back on when you're done. See, now I got it around the back side of the pulleys. Now I got to bring it around inside the grate like that, and we're around the back of the pulley now. Okay, once you get it around the pulleys, alright, you want to grab it and hold it tight, that way it doesn't come off. Alright, next part is you bring the rest of your belt up here, see, like this. You can lift this lever forward. No, you can't do it that way. Let's see, there's a way you can do this. It comes around this way. And you gotta let the brake off. Then you can put it back in neutral. I'll put it in neutral later. And then you gotta get it around this restrictor right here. Let me show you where we're at. Got it wrapped around this part. Now we got to get it around that inside part. So I think it goes like this. Pull that all the way up like that, and that'll stay put. That way we can spin our pulley here. Alright. We need something to pry back on this piece right here. Usually I just pry back on that with a screwdriver and it pops it back. I think I might have to loosen that up. It's been a while since I've done this. We can unbolt the pulley there. Yeah, we can do that. So let me find out what size socket that is and I'll be right back. Alright, got a different plan of attack. since you can see that okay, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my trim tool right here, pry back on that from the back side like this. I'm going to stuff this belt down inside there, like this. Like that. See that? Don't need to take the pulley off. Unfortunately, though, we do have to loosen up a pulley. It's this idler that we put in on the last video. Alright. You want to make sure that your belt's straight. Because if it's twisted, it's going to give you problems. Of course, as it rotates, it'll straighten itself out in most cases. So let's pull this pulley off right here. Grab my socket here. Now you don't have to take it all the way off, you just have to loosen it. You got to have it loose enough to get the belt back across it. I usually loosen it about that far. So all you got to do is just get this belt to the other side of the pulley. And this usually does it quite nicely. In this case, though, it wants me to take the entire thing apart again, so I guess we will. I suppose we will. Now, one thing that you want to make sure of is before you tighten this bolt back down, make sure, especially if you have my luck, that it did not come off back there. If it came off back there, you're going to have to do all over again. And if you're wondering about the belt, I was expecting it to break because it's been smoked a few times. These lawn and garden belts don't like getting smoked. And my yard has changed a lot since I first bought this mower. More or less erosion and stuff. So you only get so many smokes on a belt before it just decides to just give up the ghost. And this one did just that, it gave up the ghost. So unfortunately it was on a spot where I wasn't expecting it to happen. Alright. Stuck on my nut there. There we go. Alright, so as promised, I'm going to show you how this goes. So your belt comes around that pulley right there, wraps around, goes to the back. When it gets to the back, it goes like that. It goes up into this little gate right here. See if I can put my light bulb on it. So it goes up into this gate, wraps around that pulley, comes back around to the other side of this gate. You can see it all really good now. So what you got to do to get it up there, though, is you got to move your drive clutch right there. That's your drive clutch, that rubber piece that needs to be changed. And then you got to have the parking brake off. So as you can see, there's bits of my old belt right there on the deck. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to start it up. I'm going to back you guys up to a safe distance. I'm going to engage the blade system, make sure that everything's riding right. Then we're going to put the cover back on it and ship it. So I probably ought to, before I put the cover back on it, take it up and blow it out, since I got to hook up the air compressor anyway for another job I got to look at. So I think after I get this thing spinning so you can see how it works, I'm going to go ahead and call this video done, because I'm going to blow all this out before I put this back together. So let me go grab a key and I'll be right back. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and start this up real quick. set our parking brake too while we're at it, just to make sure it doesn't disappear on us. Told you. Now you see the slapping right there is normal because it's loosely riding on the engine pulley. So it's going to rotate a little bit. You see that right there? That's normal. You might see it moving a little bit. It's going to do that. What we need to do is we need to pick this up off the floor. Right about there. That way it doesn't blow up too much crap. We're going to lightly engage it and make sure everything's running okay. And that's how your pulley system works. You want it to come to a complete stop. See that? That's what it's supposed to do. Tink tink. And that's what she says when she's ready. So that's how you know how your belt works, and that's how you change your belt on your snapper. So if you got any questions or anything, put them down below, and that'll do it for this Fix It Friday. Like I said, I'm going to take this over to the shop, the air compressor, and blow it off real good before I put the lid back on it. Then I got to mow this yard. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And we'll see you on the next one.